cute does Sarah look
Oh
today?
my gosh.
Hot stuff over
Well, you know
there.
what happened? I found a pair of overalls that I had hidden in my closet. You know when you buy something new and then you wear it once because you're excited about it, and then maybe you hang it up and then you forget about it because it's new and not in your regular rotation of clothing. So I had bought these overalls, so excited about them, totally forgot about them.
She's wearing them again for the first time.
For the first time, that's what it feels like.
I mean, that is fun.
So fun. So I'm feeling great. I glossed up with my Thrive lip gloss before we started, and I never wear lip gloss.
Guess what else she did with her Thrive? And this isn't an ad. This is just reporting the facts.
Facts.
I wormed my way into her brain.
Yes, you did.
With when we did our Thrive spot the other day, I mentioned how I keep getting compliments about my new eyeliner method.
Yeah, technique. You're going all the way around the eye. You're doing a full...
Yeah, and
full
everyone's
line.
like, "Oh my gosh, your eyeballs!" And I'm like, "Say more stuff."
And so I did that. I was like, I gotta go full.
And now we wait.
You know
for the
what?
Compliments,
Right? And I got to say that they're popping.
They are.
They do feel like that.
Okay, great. Do you think it's especially on video? I noticed in real life people are real into it
No,
too.
it feels like even more in real life.
I agree.
Yeah.
I can't wait for you to go.
And
out.
you got the blue and the black going on, but I do the brown and the green. I got green eyes. They kind of tend to be a little more greeny these days, so I do the brown, and I do the brown with a little bit of shimmer in it. So,
crime.
oh, I love it.
It's earth tones. That makes sense. Green and brown. Yeah.
You know.
Not me. I'm going the opposite. Whatever's unnatural. That's what I want. Welcome to the show, everybody. I don't know if you've heard, but after 2 long years,
Yeah.
my Chili's reopened.
I did hear. I was so excited. First of all, your picture, Susie. If you guys don't follow Susie, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
What are you waiting for?
It's a laugh a minute.
Follow her on Instagram, Susie Meister. She took a photo outside that almost looks like she was customer of the year or something, where she collected every employee outside of the restaurant. It was like they were having a staff meeting and Susie was like, "Fans too?"
Legends too?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
You know the people who show up for baseball games before the baseball game, they go to the pitching practice and because they like to the batting practice or whatever, and they like to meet but they hang out because they're the real fans.
Yeah.
This is you.
That's so true. Okay.
You are this. I see you, Susie. And you wore the hat I got you, so.
Thank you for the hat. Big time.
Yes, it says good girls go to heaven, bad girls go to Chili's.
And you sent one for a link to, and he wouldn't do it, but I get it. I mean, he's 13. That would have been I would have been amazed if he did do it.
No, but let me tell you, that hat, come college years,
yeah,
he's going to freaking clean up in that hat.
Irony. It's just dripping of
Yes.
hot guy.
There was a gal that played on the gay and lesbian water polo team who had a hat that said, "Women love me, fish fear me." And I'm like, God damn, that's the coolest fucking hat I've ever seen. The irony, it's maybe not ironic, but I just love it. I love that kind of, in fact, I need to find that hat for me. So it's just hilarious. And I love everything about it.
Thank you. I love everything about it too. And I think my favorite part, and it's really hard to pick, is that there is this sense of is she joking? Right? And I'm going to just leave it up to your imagination if I am or not. But what I do know is I know that it's funny.
The best kind of things are those things where you don't know if it's a joke or not, but then you've been doing the joke so long that it becomes the thing that now is part of your personality or identity or whatever.
Well, because here are the facts. Here's what we do know. I worked at Chili's Bar and Grill
I love how you use its biblical name and use its government name or whatever.
Right. The Department of Labor name.
Yeah.
In the year of our Lord, 1997.
Golly.
Right. And I began as a host, and at that time we were called hostesses. We have evolved, but that was when I applied to go on Road Rules. And back then they used to do casting specials. Did they do one for you?
Oh, yeah. Yes, they did.
Do you have it?
Yes, I do.
Oh
In
my
fact,
gosh.
I have it hidden on. I have a special link on YouTube. Like this video exists on YouTube. Unlisted. And so if you want to see it, I can send you.
I vaguely remember this
the
because
link.
did you get a tattoo?
Yes. And I also do the Pee Wee Herman dance.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That's the thing. The casting specials are where it's at.
Yeah.
Because it's two things. It's somebody, number one, being who they are and like their real life, which is fun. But they have the intention of showing what makes them different maybe or castable. So it does have like a different sheen to it than just like you walking around your life. And in this case, they came to Pittsburgh and filmed me working at Chili's, working at Blockbuster Music, and going to the community college. And they came to Peg's house and filmed there.
That's I want to see that.
And at the end of the day, I remember the cameraman was like, so tired because I did all those things in that's all one day.
Oh, I had to do my own. They didn't send me anybody out there.
You didn't have a crew?
No, it was just me. They told me to make the video.
Oh, they must have been they wised up about how like
they must
stupid it is to pay.
Or it must have been a real world Road Rules thing.
I think it may have been because like back then there was no like who had a camera back when I was on?
Right. Oh.
Only cameramen.
It was kind of like that. I was totally 100% it, Suze.
Yeah. So the advantage of being an old timer is like somebody else had to do the work.
Yeah. I had to go to the Mac store to edit it.
They made you edit it? Well, I guess they didn't
you
make
know who my mother is.
Oh my God.
We turned that into a production.
Steven Spielberg over here.
Yeah.
On mine.
It's my mother.
I can't wait.
Please.
Maybe I could see that.
She also did the 6th grade graduation video and made us run through fields holding a blue like chiffon fabric for like
really
it was
cool.
a Celine Dion music video.
That is lucky. I'm very envious of that kind of footage.
If you went to Wildwood Elementary School in that year and you happen to have that 6th grade graduation tape, we are still looking for it because we cannot find that.
I can't believe that's not in the archives. Some sort of like climate.
It's got to. I should call the school. The school's got to have it.
Oh yeah.
I'll call the school.
Because that would be amazing.
Yeah. Anyways, back to Chili's.
My point is just I worked there. It really was important to me. Like, I don't know. I do love Chili's and I love that location, and I also really love the service industry, and I really like sort of cheering them on and like saying like I'm stoked about those darn fajitas because I am.
Man, they're the best.
They are, and so
I get fajitas
really
every
fun.
Sunday night.
See, and you regret nothing.
Nothing. It's a tradition now.
But when I pulled up, I had read about it in like the Community Gazette that they were doing a ribbon cutting at 9 a.m.
Oh my God! How many general population folks were there?
Well, I was expecting a lot because I thought like they would have maybe balloons, and as my dad would say, pony rides and face painting. I was expecting that kind of thing because why else would you do it?
Right.
Like, why would you do that unless you thought someone's coming?
I mean, for the photo op.
Well, one person did.
Oh my God. Susie, you should have been in the paper for being the only person there. I'm so fucking mad.
The paper wasn't there to document it. I was there.
Lone resident attends ribbon cutting.
For real, I'm not lying to you, Sarah. When I pulled up with Link, I said, they must have They must have delayed it. I thought that they had delayed the opening.
Here's the thing. A lot of your personality traits overlap with some spectrum-y stuff. So it's no wonder that you are very understanding of everybody around you that exists on that spectrum.
The neurodiverge.
The neurodivergent, because this is screaming neurodivergent.
Well, because to me, I am just committing to the bit. That is what it is. And a lot of what neurodivergent people do is committing. They might not think it's a bit.
100%. 100 million trillion billion %.
And that's why people are like, is she serious? Because it's like, is she comedic or on the spectrum?
It's, you know what? Keep the people guessing.
And maybe
That's
both.
what I say. Yeah.
At any rate, when those staff came out for their group employee photo, I was like, I'm sorry, Link, it's go time.
Yeah. I love this. I love everything about it. I fully support. The biggest regret I have in my whole life is not buying the Chili's sign when it was available on Craigslist.
I regret that for me and you.
It'll come back to me somehow.
If you have regrets of any kind, then you might want to talk to BetterHelp. And this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. And so you're in luck because we know all about why it's great. It is because it is convenient. You can find a therapist who meets your needs, specializes in what you need.
Yes.
And go to your sessions via
here's my little speech.
Yes.
I know how much y'all are spending on your hair. I know how much you're spending getting your hair
guilty as charged.
Right. And I know how you have to redo that every 3 months. Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is just try it out. Try out saying, you know what? I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna spend my money, because if you're like me, you're like, okay, I have got to save in this category. Like, what am I treating myself this to? You know, we don't have like a lot of extra cash laying around. So I am here to tell you, treat yourself to therapy for just 1 month. Just try it out.
Just 1 month.
1 month. And watch what happens. It will, the effects will last way longer than the hairdo, and cost you 1/3 the price, really. And I mean, that's how I think about it. I think, wow, I'm spending so little for something that is changing my life for the better forever, because you never unlearn the things you learn in therapy.
Yeah. I had a session recently that was annoyingly great.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much.
Where you had to list your values, your 5 things that are most important.
I love values. Yes.
Check in on those. And you just, all you're doing, it was like homework. It was like, all you're doing is taking, you could do it in 5 minutes, truth be told.
Yeah.
And just be like, here's the things that are important to me. And you gain so much. Just a reminder.
It is, and having that reflected back to you, there's something, like I always say, you can't tickle yourself.
Annoying.
You cannot do it to yourself. I've tried. You can do the values list by yourself. It is not going to have the same effect as when a therapist asks you those questions that make you look at things different from that new perspective. It'll change your life.
It's so annoying though, because they're right, and it's like you almost think like, what's the point of that? And then you do it, and you're like, they're right again.
Right.
But if you want to experience what I did, which is to be wrong in the best way possible,
yes,
then you should try it. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month that you have to do at betterhelp.com/braincandy. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/braincandy.
yes.
All right. Okay. Oh, Okay, so while we were just talking, my sister Gretchen texted asking me about what we talked about last time about the Amy Bradley cruise ship mystery, whatever.
Yes.
And she was like, "Did you watch that? And what do you think happened?" You know?
Yeah.
And she's like, "How the F did she or her body get off that ship?" That was the text that she sent me. But us talking about that reminded me of a different cruise ship situation that I wanted to ask you about.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Yeah, because it is my episode. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see the news story recently about the child who fell off a Disney cruise?
Is this the one with the dad?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Why are you mad?
Because I don't think we need to be applauding for the guy that probably put his kid on the railing to take a photo.
Okay. Well, you're going to be happy to know that's not true.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have to be mad.
Yeah. There's nothing to be mad
then
about.
Yay, I'm so glad he jumped over and saved his kid.
If you didn't see it, which I don't know how you can miss it because this was a big deal at the time.
Dude.
So there's a Disney cruise and a small child, they estimated 5 or 6 at that time, fell from the boat. And then the dad or a male adult jumped to get her. Then the cruise sent out their little rescue
dinghy,
boat.
yeah.
Yeah. And was able to get to them fast enough that then they were put in. They were okay. They didn't really have huge medical issues.
Yeah.
It was such a miracle and a happy ending when truly that is not what you think is going to happen there.
Right.
So then I started thinking about it because that at the time it was such big news, but then you very rarely hear like, well, what did happen unless it's sort of like this rumor shit.
Right.
So
I was
just
hearing the rumors.
yesterday we got an update from the authorities.
Okay.
And I was so happy to read it because I'm sure people can always find reasons to judge. I mean, could this have been prevented? Probably. I mean,
yeah, but if you're telling me he didn't, my brother Jordan climbed on everything. He was half of the members of my family have fallen off things and ended up in the hospital.
Right.
That is what
kids
we
are
do.
wild.
And Jordan we had to call the fire department weekly because he was up.
He's up in the
at
thing.
the tallest tree. So it does not, if you're telling me that it wasn't, some situation where an adult was at fault, I absolutely can see how a kid could do this.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of people think, well, like, why aren't you paying attention? But there is no way to pay attention all the time, like every second.
And to those kind of wiggly kids, I know how they are.
This is what has been reported now from the authorities. Evidently, she was a 5-year-old girl and she did climb up on the railings. Her parents were both right nearby, but nobody put her up on the railing. There was no picture happening. The parents were right there. The dad wasn't looking at that moment. He didn't see her fall, but the mom did, screamed. And evidently what they think caused her to actually go overboard was a huge gust of wind. Oh. So it was like bad timing. She happened to be up on the railing.
And those like side decks get really gusty. There you can you can get. Have you ever been on the side of a ship and your hair's like going crazy because that wind, it seems like it's coming from every direction?
Absolutely.
Ever?
Totally.
Oh, how
and
scary.
That's why I always say I'm surprised this doesn't happen more frequently.
I think it does.
Oh. Like, and we don't know about it.
Yeah.
The old cover up.
Yeah. I think it's
probably
because more people saw and because it was a kid. Okay. Keep going.
Yes. Though. So the mom screamed. The dad was alerted. He jumped off. And the mom was screaming, my daughter's 5. She doesn't know how to swim.
Oh, God.
Right. I mean, you think this kid's dead.
Dude, I love dads. Dads have this thing that, like, moms have a nurturing maternal instinct, but dads have a save my child sixth sense that I've seen too many videos where it is mind-blowing.
I almost feel like, you know how you've probably heard about like moms that'll like suddenly pick up a car?
Yeah.
I think if the dad's around, they don't get that. the superhuman strength.
Oh,
that like
right.
they're just like they're still in mom mode.
Yes.
Then the dad has to go jump off the boat.
Right.
It's like this weird sort of hierarchy or something.
Yes.
A role.
It happens to me when depending on who's in charge, when I'm at camp and I'm the counselor, I am in, like, it doesn't matter what I see. It doesn't matter. Blood, not a problem. But if I'm the person, if I'm with my brothers, who's a firefighter, they're like, I instantly am like, oh, I'm going to faint and can't handle anything medical if I'm in a different role in that.
We like to imagine that our personalities and our traits are fixed and,
they are not.
And immutable, but the truth is I think they're fluid and it depends on the context.
Totally.
Yeah. So he jumps off. Anyway, they're rescued and whatever, but I just was so relieved, number one, that the circumstances were something that really were just unfortunate. And
yeah, me too. That is really a relief.
Yeah, but also, like, why are people going on cruises?
Why are people going on cruises?
They said she fell through a porthole, though.
Now that I know, like, what?
They said she fell through a porthole, and I don't understand. Yeah. What is that?
That's like, those are the windows that are round.
So, like, if she's climbing on a railing, where's the porthole?
In the, in their cabins.
And they are just open air? You can
it might be.
Fly out? Must have been.
If you, like, open it, and she could probably crawl out of it.
Good grief. I mean.
Yeah.
They said they were near shuffleboard, though. They were, like, playing shuffleboard.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't picture it exactly, but I do know that guy did the right thing.
Yes, he did.
And can you even imagine what that would feel like?
Well, here's some things that are helping. The fact that it is moving in, like, shaped in the way it is, and the engines are way far away, so nobody's getting sucked underneath into any engines, which I think is what some people think is going to happen.
It's scary, yeah.
The fact that the boat and the way it moves is breaking up the water enough so they're not falling into like flat water, like moving water will save you, break the surface tension so that you're not falling and hitting like cement. Still water is much more dangerous to fall into.
Oh wow, I didn't know that, Sarah.
Yeah, you want to fall into choppy. You have a better chance of living. If you fall into like still glass water, that surface tension is so strong it could like break bones at, I think it's 36 feet, something like that. Mm-hmm. I only know that because on the challenge they put us 1 foot underneath what you can break a bone with. They were like,
just as a matter of course, or one time they did that?
No, as a matter of course, that's what they do. It's 1 foot below what you can drop somebody from. That's what I was told.
That's so messed up.
Right. And nobody's going beneath and like churning the water up. So we're falling sometimes and it's like smack. Like, it's why everybody gets so bruised.
Katie Doyle is
and I burst the blood vessels on the side of my leg that looked like my leg just had a pool of like blood in the side of it. That was weird. Like
our very first mission on Road Rules was the cliff diving. You all right?
A fly just landed on my nose. That was just rude.
That's rude. That
was rude. That was like
you.
Totally a joke.
On Road Rules, our very first mission was cliff diving in Hawaii.
Yes.
And we started at 20 feet, then we did 30 feet, then you could do 40 feet.
That's so high.
I only did 30.
Yeah, I wouldn't do 40. No, right. I wouldn't even do 30, Susie.
No?
I don't know. I don't think I would.
That's well, we didn't have to dive. We could jump.
Yeah, maybe I would if there was a team underneath me, if I knew the depth, jumping from high places like that, it's just too easy to become paralyzed and fall wrong and
like they should never cross people. Don't tell them.
Right. And like I follow, there's one woman who is a Red Bull diver and she jumps she does crazy flips off of the highest.
I mean, that's fun to watch.
It's so like she throws her shoes down first and it takes like 12 seconds for them to land. It's so wild. But she slipped on the platform the other day and it was one of the scariest things I'd ever seen. But
and then what happened?
Well, luckily she rotated well and she hit the water okay. But in following her and seeing some of what these like Red Bull divers, like cliff jumpers do, if they fall wrong, they break their back. They're like, it's
risky biz.
Multiple vertebrae. Like no. I'm not bendy enough anymore.
Bendy.
I got to get more bendy and flexible. You know?
Yeah.
You get stiff when you get older.
I'll tell you what's not stiff.
What?
Let me think if I have a good chance. Not really. Well, we already actually talked about it, and that is Thrive Cosmetics and how freaking great Sarah and I. Look at our eyes. Yeah. Look into our eyes if you're watching.
Or how about this lip gloss is so great because it has a little bit of like
look at her. She
minty.
She has a demonstration happening. Right now.
It's kind of like got a cooling kind of minty. You know that plumping effect is probably a lip plumper.
That's right. That I do love the minty
my God,
effect.
It's called Imani. That's the color I'm wearing. It's the sheer strength lip plumping peptide gloss. Wow, that's so small. I can't believe I read it.
I mean, it's ageist. I already said this to them. Listen, Thrive.
I know.
Please. My peepers are, holding on for dear life. Mm-hmm. But thankfully, everyone thinks they look amazing. Mm-hmm. Sure, they can't see very well, but don't they look pretty?
Beautiful.
And that's thanks to the Infinity Waterproof Eyeliner, which I am obsessed with. Mm-hmm. And it really does glide on, stays on all day, high pigment definition. I have on the Brilliant Eye Brightener.
Yes.
And the Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara. Look.
Yes.
Sarah,
and I have currently on the bronzer, the stick bronzer. I have the cream blush.
I have the powder bronzer on.
And I do the matte primer underneath. And then I do the sheer tint cream, like
and you look so
foundation.
Beautiful.
And then the lash lengthening, lash extension mascara.
That's right.
Then I do the clear brow gel.
I mean, we look like $1 million. You should see us without it. Hot garbage over here.
Yeah, it's great.
But they are the best company that we've ever used, and they support communities and want them to thrive, and we love that. They give back. Maximize your look with minimal effort. That's true too, because I don't have a lot of time.
Right.
Go to thrivecosmetics.com/braincandy for an exclusive offer of 20% off your first order. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/braincandy. And you can find all of our codes on thebraincandypodcast.com on our candy codes section.
Yes.
All right, let's move on. Shall we?
We shall.
Oh, this was really interesting. I saw this today in the New Yorker. This was brand new article in the current issue. It was about, there have been a lot of reports of people who have been cured of lifelong, basically psychosis, usually diagnosed as schizophrenia, but sort of whatever that looks like,
Yeah, okay.
When they have received treatment for cancer, and they are realizing these people likely had an autoimmune disorder.
Oh my God.
For their whole life.
I believe this. This is, you know why? This reminds me of ulcers.
Why? How?
You're going to be like, what? We believe that ulcers were from stress and anxiety, but they're actually caused by some bacteria in the gut. And then when they were able to identify the bacteria, they could cure the ulcer. Like, it wasn't from stress. Like, and it's almost like because you have an ulcer, you became stressed and anxious about it, which exacerbated it because of inflammation, but that wasn't the cause. And there was somebody, I want to say he like gave himself an ulcer to then cure it to prove that this was the case. Ooh, I'm pretty sure. But
That is nuts.
this is the same kind of thing, it feels like.
So they are realizing, not always, but some percentage of people that have the symptoms of schizophrenia actually don't have what we think they have. They have this autoimmune disorder that has no other physical manifestations. And then they just have these mental health symptoms. So we mistakenly think this is just a brain problem. And then the example that the New Yorker provides is this woman who was a doctor in India. She comes over to the United States with her family and then develops,
Oh my God.
schizophrenic symptoms, loses her marbles, like is paranoid, delusional, not in touch with reality, her husband leaves, her kids have to deal with this mom who's like cuckoo crazy their entire life. Then she gets cancer. They treat her cancer with like chemo and stuff, and she is cured of both.
Oh my God.
It is wild.
Yeah, I totally we're gonna be finding out a lot. You know when we talk about how serotonin is mostly in the gut?
Yeah.
The production of that, if there is some bacteria. So I was right. Ulcers were long to believe caused by stress or spicy foods.
Yeah.
Then in the 1980s, there was an Australian doctor named Barry Marshall and Robin Warren, who later won the Nobel Prize for discovering that it turns out to be bacteria called Helicobacter pylori. So they said a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, whatever. They found like the cure for it. No suspected before they thought no suspected bacteria could survive in the acidic environment, and then they were like, wait a sec, maybe it's this bacteria. Turns out it is that's causing all that.
Holy shit.
And I think that these things. I also think that there's some sign that endometriosis is something like that too.
I would believe that. Mm-hmm. And I would believe that type of thing can cause symptoms that are related to, behaviors. And
oh my God, it's wild.
It's so upsetting because we have been on the wrong path this whole time.
God. And treating it with antipsychotics when it can just be
because
a cure,
here's
like it gives me anxiety. It makes me like
upsetting.
Have like almost like regret, but it's not my regret. It feel like this feeling of societal it's the same. It's a similar feeling I got when we read the book about feathers and learned that the people's love for hats and like feathers in that time made a bunch of birds extinct, and you wish like, oh my God, if I only knew and could go back, or whatever, those kind of things. Because
they were saying that there were rumblings that something was going on for a while when people would get something called, maybe you know what it is, it's called like encephalitis. And
isn't that just a swelling of the brain?
Yeah. So like everyone thought they had schizophrenia. Mm-hmm. And then they'd find out later, oh, you have this thing that your brain is has like a problem. And once that was treated, they were fine, and the symptoms of the schizophrenia. Okay, and they were basically kind of implying in the article that like maybe schizophrenia isn't a thing.
It's a symptom.
It's a symptom of all kinds of other things that can happen.
Oh, yes. I believe that, because it's when we can't point to a specific cure, it's not a disease. It's a disorder. It's a multi-symptom,
chronic fatigue.
Yeah.
Restless leg. Whatever. Like anytime you have a syndrome or a disorder where it's like
blowing my mind.
We just have like this thing that we know is wrong, but we don't know what's causing it.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
Same with seizures. It's and we don't know fuck all about the brain and what's going on in there and what.
And the trouble too with the autoimmune stuff is that, well, it's always mysterious. And I always joke about how Larry, David, and I both, anytime someone has like a mystery illness, I'm like, it's a tick. You have Lyme disease or lupus or it's an autoimmune thing, because that's what it always ends up being, is some sort of autoimmune problem.
Yeah.
But part of the reason is because the symptoms are so varied and they're not consistent.
Like something's attacking the system and we don't know what. And
we don't know what.
Can't even test for what, because we haven't even been able to identify this thing, because it's too hard to even identify the symptoms when they're so closely related to other things.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, so I can't wait for 10 years from now when we do a follow-up episode, and I just know it, because that's how this goes. I can't wait to flash back to this moment.
Sometimes your optimism is great.
I'm going to be optimistic about this.
Okay. Well, I love that. Okay. Something else I love is Hungry Root. And the reason that I love it is because it is bringing me my groceries to my door, telling me how I can cook them up, giving me snacks to give Lincoln to zip his lip, and giving us food that we really like, because you can customize it however you want. You want meat, you don't want meat. You want you don't want like high fructose corn syrup.
My girlfriend's a vegetarian, or not vegetarian, a pescatarian. So I swap out the meat, some like chicken for fish, and they make it real easy to do so. Where I go, oh, I love this meal, but can we get shrimp fajitas instead of chicken? And you can't do that.
It's so easy.
Sometimes the recipes that they have for like pescatarian or vegan options are like the boring ones, and I don't want, or gross ones.
Get the exciting
This way,
recipe.
I get the same exciting thing with the substitutions I want.
It's such a great program. I think you all would really love it, especially moving
so
into
much money.
She really does. Like, it's
so
ridiculous.
much money. And then if I do that thing where I'm like, oh, like, so I'm going to camp next week. So I skipped my basket this week, and I said, okay, or my box this week. I said, okay, I'll go to the grocery store. I spent the equivalent of a box of groceries from Hungry Root in one stupid trip to the grocery store, when I got things
nothing.
And I got nothing. I honestly, I was like, I got peaches, ice cream, and granola, and
That's funny.
That's barely a meal.
Right. This is so much more satisfying, and you can take advantage of the exclusive offer. For a limited time, you get 40% off your first box, plus get a free item in every box for life. Go to hungryroot.com/braincandy and use code braincandy. That's hungryroot.com/braincandy, code braincandy, to get 40% off your first box and a free item of your choice for life. hungryroot.com/braincandy, code braincandy. Okay.
And one thing I was right about that little fun fact. Barry Marshall, one of the doctors who discovered H. pylori, drank a vial of the bacteria himself to prove the connection to ulcers. He got sick and developed gastritis, and then cured himself with antibiotics, proving once and for all that ulcers weren't caused by stress.
No.
Yes.
I mean, this is like, that's the thing. We get a lot of stuff wrong. Like, we love science, but it's always evolving, and we learn more, and we have to update. And that's what this article was showing. And I really loved the element that it included that was nuanced, which was, it wasn't just like, isn't this great?
Right.
It showed how once the mom was quote unquote cured, she's regular, she doesn't have these delusions anymore. She still has these daughters who lived through 20 years of hell.
My God.
So they want to talk about it. And they're like,
Of course
you
they do.
hurt me in the following ways.
They need EMDR.
Because here's the thing. She remembers those 20 years.
Right.
But anytime anyone wants to talk about the things she was claiming, the delusions, the paranoias, thinking she was bugged, thinking people were after her, all of the like absolute lunacy.
Right. The stuff that people had to suffer through.
She doesn't deny that she ever said it. She has new explanations for why she said it. So like the daughter will be like, well, we weren't allowed outside the house because you thought somebody was bugging us, meaning like surveilling us.
Right.
And the mom was like, well, it was dangerous in the Bronx at that time. And, why did
her
you
brain's created rationalizations to explain her behavior because, okay, they all have to go to therapy. This will take a long time. That's her brain
Right.
protecting itself because
Yeah.
it can't, it's still okay, it's just going to take, they got to go to individual therapy and then they got to do some group stuff in about a year.
Like, why did you keep a tube sock over like the shower head? Like at the time I think it was like bugs she thought or something. And now she says she was just like filtering out sediment from like the water, whatever.
That's
and
not good.
she's not lying.
Right.
She's reframing
her
to
mind is doing
match the person she is now.
Right. Wow, the brain is weird.
And they have a name for it. They call it double bookkeeping. That even in psychosis, your brain will come up with 2 tracks. And so like one track is like cuckoo crazy, like the KGP or whatever is like tapped into my brain or my ear, my filling in my tooth.
Everybody knows this on a more simplistic, relatable basis. When you say, oh my God, I'm such a loser. Nobody will ever want to be friends with me. And then you go, well, deep down, I know that I'm not a loser. And
yes, intellectually.
Intellectually, I know that. But there's that part of that initial.
That is really fucked up because I do that all the time.
We all do it. Every single one of us does it. It's the communication between the wise mind and the reactive self. That protective part. And it's the same as, and I'll explain it to clients, like if we're not responsible for our first thought or our first feeling, but we are responsible for our second thought and our first action. So say you walk in the door one night and it's all dark and you open the door and you're like, a burglar, because you see a bunch of like clothes piled on the chair. That's your first thought is a burglar. And then your first feeling is like fear, panic. Then you turn on the lights and your rational mind kicks in and goes, that is a pile of clothes on a chair. That's your second thought. And your first action is like, take a deep breath or flip on the lights or whatever, but if there is a distance between that, the inability to tap into, to connect to that wise mind, then maybe that wise mind knows that somewhere, but that reactive self is like running the show. And we go, but what if it is a monster? Well, what if it, and we don't ever like turn the lights on, we just like keep living in this like panicky possible reality.
How do you think there's a way to operate closer to the wise mind, even in the those moments?
Yes. So we go into that panicky place where we get out of the wise mind. I think of it almost as like a tank, like a stress tank. And there's a threshold where it's like when that tank is 75% full, then boop, we're going to be reactive. So what you could do is you do the things day to day to empty the tank. So, and everybody knows this feeling because say you've been running around all day and you didn't take a break to eat lunch. That tank's 50% full. Then you go pick up the kids and the kids are screaming. Oh, that's adding another 10% to the tank. Then you called your husband and oh my gosh, you forgot to get dinner, so now you have to think about dinner. And there's another 15%. There are things that you're going to do that are going to fill that tank. Once that tank is full, it's much harder when you're at hit that 75% threshold to be able to like drain the tank then. That's when we're like in reactive mode. That's when we're going to be, everything feels unsafe. We're reacting to everything. So what we have to do is do the work ahead of time, do the things all the time to be constantly draining that tank. That's why like self-care is not just when we really need it. It has to be, I think of it as like maintenance. How do we maintain that stress tank and keep emptying it or you could think of it as like dishes in the sink. We don't want to just keep piling them up. We want to be doing the dishes after every meal so that it doesn't become this huge overwhelming load. So you have to do things like put the phone down in the morning when you're eating your breakfast and just enjoy your breakfast and be peaceful and mindful and take a look outside and whatever. Go for like a little mindful walk in the morning, or, you know, on your lunch break at work, color or do a puzzle instead of hopping on social media and scrolling through that, or filling it with doing more work or online shopping or whatever that's not actually draining the tank. You have to do things that are going to be counters to those daily stressors that you are going to encounter, because we're gonna encounter them. Does that kind of answer the question?
Yeah, it does. And that's why I always say that these extreme examples of human experience are so useful because they illuminate the micro. So most of us are not going to have schizophrenia for 20 years and then be cured of it and have to grapple with like the consequences of that.
Yes.
But what we can learn from it is the way that all human minds have like several realities, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
That explain our life, and that the ideal is that they are very close together. In her case, they're very far apart. But the article wasn't without hope. You know, the daughters and the mom are all working together to find a way to make it all make sense and keep everybody healthy.
Yeah.
But what a difficult job when there are 20 lost years.
Absolutely.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, because I can see that the brain like firing up in a lot of places like schizophrenia does, but not in that prefrontal cortex, not in that wise mind area where you're looking at like reason and bigger picture and all that. It's very just reactive. So if you were in that place, like, and everybody, imagine, you know how you are when you haven't had any sleep and you go, like, it almost feels like you're hallucinating.
You're like a different person.
You're a different person. Imagine being in that
for 20
all
years.
the time. Yeah. That's what that would be.
And then getting proper sleep and having to defend 20 years worth of irrationalities. And you know what was also interesting? They learned that the schizophrenic version of her wasn't without its benefits. That version of her had boundaries.
Interesting.
Like she didn't take shit from anybody.
Oh, okay.
Right?
She was more like protective of herself, probably.
Yeah, she was like, you're weird. I don't like what you're doing. And probably because she's paranoid, right? But she was also not going to put up with the bullshit from the husband and whatever, who was a more traditional Indian husband who wanted, like, she's a doctor, but like she should stay at home and she's blah, blah, blah.
Interesting.
And she also, the other trait that she had was that she, as a schizophrenic woman, she thought she was fucking great.
I bet she was
Like,
more fun.
The grandiose.
And I bet she was also more creative.
Oh, probably. And her kids thought this is a gal who thinks she deserves to be respected and deserves a voice. And then now that she's cured, she's back to being like small.
Because she has that filter.
Well, yeah, she knows that you don't want to act like that if you want people to like you and stuff.
Wow.
Isn't this funny? Like, you don't think there's any benefits to that kind of...
Right. There always is. Well, and I think that's why so many people who experience different sort of mental health issues aren't med compliant.
Right.
Because, like, I don't want to be any different than that. I like who I am like this, you know?
And we think, what is wrong with you? But the truth is, through this article I saw, just a glimpse into like, this is so serving them sometimes in certain ways.
Oh, yeah.
That had never occurred to me.
Yeah.
I just think of it as like they're cuckoo crazy. Yes, in the sense that like they're not in my version of reality,
Right.
but that might be protecting them from all kinds of other things that I know
Yep.
nothing about.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep. And if those
Fascinating.
hallucinations, if they've felt lonely or isolated before and then they have hallucinations, those may be the only friends they've had and experienced. So then they are not letting any of those go.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Secondary gains.
I really appreciated hearing a point of view about these conditions that would have never occurred to me.
This is absolutely fascinating.
Yeah. Okay. So great article. That should go in the newsletter. That was in the New Yorker. I'll send that to Delia to put that in there. Another thing she should be talking about in that newsletter is how great Nutrafol is. And I tip my hat to them because they are doing the Lord's work, helping people that are experiencing that feeling of like, my hair ain't what it once was.
Right. I think we all go through that, whether it's like medication you're taking, changes in hormones, lifestyle, whatever.
It's so awesome because if you are experiencing that feeling of like, my hair is not as thick as I want it to be, or it's not growing as fast as I want it to be, or it's shedding too much, then you can take this supplement and dermatologists will say thumbs up because you will change how it will change how you feel about your hair. And this summer you can stop worrying about your hair, start making memories. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off their first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter promo code BRAINCANDY. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code BRAINCANDY. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code BRAINCANDY. Okie dokes. Let's see. What else is on my list? Oh, right. This is like... Oh, yeah, okay. I'll talk about that. So in the New Yorker as well, they were crushing it this month. There was an article about a pediatrician who just seemed like a doll baby. And he's just, Lincoln has a pediatrician like this, this guy has like 10 kids, I think.
Oh.
Dr. Stewart, shout out to you. He is like the current incarnation of, Jerry Lewis, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. And he's like, ladies. He's like that.
That's exactly who you want as a pediatrician.
Yeah. Just like, he's brilliant. And he probably has like ADHD or something because I don't know how he's
for
like
sure.
Balls to the wall all the time. But he's a character and he deals great with kids, but he's also like dialed into the parents, whatever. And that's what you want. Yes. And in the New Yorker, this profile sounded like that type of guy who's like gregarious and affable and encouraging of parents, reassuring, saying like, you got this, you're good, don't worry. But what he endured was that when he had a son who was 2, he went out of their house to move the car. And unfortunately, the child came out as well. And he inadvertently ran over his own child when he was just moving it into the drive.
Oh, my God.
And it was detailing his efforts to deal with that grief. And this was years and years ago, decades. And he is a person that I really admire this type, as you know, because that's why I love Arnold, who his way of dealing with it was channeling it into like, I have to make a difference. I have to be useful. I have to just dial into like making this worth something.
Yeah. Oh.
And
I couldn't imagine.
So he, in addition to continuing to be a pediatrician and not taking any time off, like he's one of these, like, nope, got to go back to work and not deal with
addiction is the work. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it literally said in the article, the phrase was therapeutic workaholism.
Yeah.
Is part of Galbraith's altruism. And ever since the accident, it was this survivor's guilt, of course, but also the guilt of having done it, being responsible in some way for it.
Yeah.
And he is the person that is the reason why it is the law that we have to have backup cams in our cars.
Wow.
Yeah. So he took his grief and tragedy and decided he was going to advocate for these backup cams in all cars. And for real, thank goodness. I don't know how everybody was doing it beforehand.
Well, they were having accidents.
Well, that's right. It was far more like cross your fingers.
Like now we got the car. My old car stopped. It wouldn't even let if anybody came into range of that. Like the brakes locked up and you couldn't even reverse if you wanted to. And thank goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dogs, kids.
Right.
Bicycles.
Because the truth of the matter is, backing up a vehicle is without a camera, and even sometimes with a camera, but regardless, it's a crapshoot.
That is really scary.
Yeah. And if you think about that, what that feeling would be like, even if it were a dog.
No, I can't.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Because there's a moment where you just are backing up, where you commit and you go a little bit faster.
Yeah.
And that, to know that you've done that with, I can't even entertain that. This is why I can't have kids. I mean, that and, having no uterus. But I can't even bring myself to think about that.
Yeah. I think that it's interesting too. I mean, they faced it in the article that to deal with grief, people sort of choose their fighter.
Yeah.
And his is workaholism and also just like this determination to be useful.
Yeah.
But I mean, some people choose alcohol, like more dampening of that pain, of course, and muting of that. And do you think that, I mean, how the fuck do we know? But is your sense that that is something that's maybe biological or, genetic or more intention? Like, how do you think that is determined?
I think that it is the brain's job to keep homeostasis, that it wants to numb itself. It wants to protect itself from feelings of pain and feelings of hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And so however we've learned, whatever tools we've learned to accomplish that is what the brain's going to use. So I would imagine that his parents were probably doctors, or his dad was probably a doctor. And he saw parent deal with their stress by pouring themselves into their work. So it might be something like that. But I
do know I
go ahead.
Can't remember we are told as the reader what they did, but they did have a child that died, and it's probably why he became a pediatrician.
Yeah, and however that parent reacted would give him a lot of information.
Or maybe, because let's say the child died and then they fell apart.
Right.
That would make sense that then he would want to become a pediatrician.
Well, and if they fell apart and he was the child, he then became parentified. And his job was to work really hard and take care of the emotions of other people.
Yeah. To want the job that could have prevented their...
Yes.
Yeah. So we do know they endured the loss of a child as well.
That would make sense. That's
Isn't it
very
so annoying
interesting.
that it's like a
But
script?
What I think is really beautiful in that story is that we survive. Is that this thing that you think is like that? I kind of have to check myself when I say like, oh my God, I can't even think about that. I don't even want my mind to go there, because the reality is that happened to somebody, and that happens to other people. And there are people who have been in those situations where they were, made a mistake that they regret, and something bad happened. And we think, I won't survive that if I do something like that. But you will. You will, and many beautiful, wonderful things can, believe it or not, come from that. And there's so much growth and strength and humanity and depth of feeling and all of this stuff that can come from these very tragic things. And I think that's the takeaway for me, is that it's not these things that you think, oh my God, I'd never survive. We actually all will. And it will, like, we can.
Yeah, we can.
We can. I shouldn't say we will.
Yeah.
We can. We all have this. We can, and if we want to.
They also, the New Yorker is so thorough, of course, and the articles are long. So the great part about that is, though, that they help you understand the nuance, because they point out how, like, his therapist has worked with him to sort of like undo the scripts that we all have, where it's like, I wish, regret. I wish I had checked better. I wish I had done something differently that day, whatever. And like, he will talk about that. He'll say, my therapist is helping me unwind that script. But at the same time, he'll say, like, it was my fault. Like, a driver is 100%.
Acceptance. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to accept the reality of the situation. This is what happened.
You did run over your child.
That. But you did not mean to.
You didn't know he was there.
You didn't know. If you could, you would do it different. Future, you would not do the same thing. Past, you wouldn't have done the same thing. If you had, this was not your intention. So many things, this is not your fault. Like, yes, you are at fault, but this is not something where you set out, how can I do this horrible thing? That I would do a values review. What are your values? Were your actions in line with your values? Actually, probably yes. You weren't going out to be hurtful or to do something wrong or to be careless. That wasn't the intention.
Yeah, and he'll refer to it as, like, I guess my son and I were meant to protect all these other people, right?
Yes.
You're imbuing it with meaning and importance. But then he will also say, this was a meaningless accident. This was just like the universe.
Yes.
And it's like both and neither. And
absolutely. It's meaningless, but meaning can be made from it. I think about, do I want the things that happened to me as a child to have happened to me? No. But am I somebody who's, in a way, like, grateful that I've had the experiences that I've had to then be able and come out of it with this much, like, clarity and whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
To be able to help other people and really say, I know how you feel, and I couldn't help. Like, in a way, I am helping little me by helping so many other people's little them.
And he'll say, if you accept the idea that you did run over your child. So if something is your responsibility, you have to ask, what is your response?
Yes. Oof. This is my responsibility, but what's my response? Yeah.
That's powerful.
It's very powerful.
And that, instead of turning inward, his was about the outward response. And in this case, that has been consequential and probably saved lives. And so, like, it doesn't erase the pain and feeling of loss.
Yeah.
But at least you could maybe prevent someone else from experiencing that. And so I just really admire that, because I had never heard the story. I never knew why we all had these cams.
I didn't know that it was because of a reason like that.
Yeah. And that he was a pediatrician. It makes such a difference that this is a guy
really
who's
does.
tasked.
And that he also had parents who had child die. It's like very
Simulation style.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So
yeah, whenever we hear these stories, it just feels like, well, that's either a really big coincidence,
right? Or the
not.
world is unfolding in a neater and more organized way than we think it is.
Yeah. So that was great article and very inspiring. And I wish, it's always amazing to hear people who respond to pain in that way, because I'm not always like that, and I really admire it in people.
Susie, what a great episode. Every single story
Thank you,
was
Sarah.
so good. I'm going to think about a lot of these things
That's
afterwards.
what I do love. It is nice. It is a nice feeling, because I feel like that too. Like, oh, that's going to rattle around in my brain for a minute.
If this was an episode for you listeners that did the same thing, then you should go to thebraincandypodcast.com and you should subscribe to our newsletter, where you will get these articles and nothing, just like a summary and cool facts, like no annoying stuff in there, no spam.
No.
But you can get all these articles because I know you're probably driving or on a walk or something and like, oh, what's that? I can't write that down. There you go. Subscribe to. I subscribe, so I know I get the emails, and I'm always like,
me too.
Oh my God, that's right. We talked about that. That was good. Yeah.
And you could go to our YouTube channel if you prefer to watch the video version or have it on in the background while you do your laundry and all that.
Yes.
You can subscribe to that, and Adam's doing a great job adding all kinds of fun pop-ups and polls and quizzes and silliness to it.
Love that.
So you can enjoy those visuals. But thanks for listening. We love you, and we'll see you next time.